What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. Bethenny Frankel and her lawyers are about to give Bravo and NBC Universal a dose of reality. So, after the Real Housewives alum Bethenny Frankel proposed the idea of a reality star union, she reportedly retained the services of Hollywood attorneys Brian Friedman and Mark Gagarios. In short order, these two attorneys have made big moves against the parent company that hosts Bravo and ETV network, sending a letter outlining offenses perpetrated against its reality show talent and threatening legal action on their behalf. So, just a side note, you guys remember during the Nene Leakes Carlo King interview, he asked her about this lawsuit specifically, and he asked Nene if she regretted suing Bravo and suing NBC Universal. She said no, she didn't regret it. She said, however, the lawsuit part is no more, but they're currently in mediation. She said something that I also found was really profound. She said that, Bethenny has the social capital and privilege that she just didn't have. And I agree with her. And I think that, Bethenny also has the financial capital that Nene may not have either, right? So Bethenny is someone who, has really been taking Bravo to task on her social media, on her podcast. And now she's got these two attorneys who have represented a significant number of individuals, huge Hollywood stars. So in a letter directly mailed to NBC Universal, the lawyers state specifically, our clients are current and former cast members and crew members on some of NBC's most lucrative reality TV shows. As you know, NBC has a pattern and practice of grotesque and depraved mistreatment of the reality stars and crew members on whose account it coffers swell. These individuals have been mentally, physically, financially victimized by NBC and threatened with ruin should they decide to speak out about their mistreatment. As a result, the sordid and dark underbelly of NBC's widely consumed reality TV universe has remained under wraps for far too long. Please be advised that the day of reckoning has arrived. Not the day of reckoning, child. Okay. Now, I love a good legalese document, and I'm going to put it in the description box so you guys can read the whole thing. But this is what the lawyers have said to NBC. They said that it includes, but not limited to, deliberate attempts to manufacture mental instability by applying cast members with alcohol while depriving them of food and sleep, denying mental health treatment to cast members displaying obvious and alarming signs of mental deterioration, exploiting minors for uncompensated and sometimes long-term appearances on NBC reality TV shows, distributing and condoning the distribution of non-consensual intimate acts, covering up intimate acts of violence, and refusing to allow cast members the freedom to leave their shows even after dire circumstances. So like I said, I'm going to link the letter so you guys can read the entire thing. But basically, these lawyers are not playing. Like Bethenny, she's not playing. She has over 50, I believe, people with her, reality stars that are standing behind her. So NBC, again, their money is long as well. I don't necessarily think this is going to go to court, but who knows, right? The attorneys state that, I'm trying to just give you guys the brief breakdown of it. The NBC has exceeded the moral and legal limits permissible in a civilized society governed by the rule of law. Undoubtedly, when fully apprised, the legal system and the public will agree. This letter serves as the first warning shot in what will no doubt be a long and involved battle. Still, it could represent a game-changing moment for reality television, setting an industry-wide precedent for how to treat reality talent, which is good, right? I think because reality shows became huge around 2008, and that was right after the first big writer strike that I can remember. Okay. I mean, the first really big one in Hollywood was back when the president of the writer's strike was actually Ronald Reagan, back when he was an actor, before he became a president of the United States and instituted Reaganomics, which we're still suffering from to this day. But way back, and then that was the first writer's strike, I think, in Hollywood. And so 2008 was the first one when I was alive. And that's when reality shows really started to pick up steam. Okay. So it says reality is an extremely lucrative industry and becomes even more important when the writer's strike has knocked scripted programming off the schedule. As many have already said, a hot labor summer is proving to be an inflection point in the entertainment industry. When this lawsuit is filed, all eyes will most certainly be on the proceedings just to see how transformational it all turns out to be. And again, Bethenny, she's a powerhouse. Her podcast and her Skinny Girl line have made her a lot of money, which equals power in most societies, especially here in the US. And so the fact that she has retained these two lawyers, and then she has all these other reality stars backing her, I really feel like Universal and NBC Universal, Bravo TV, and Truly Original, they're probably going to want to settle out of court. And it's going to change the game as far as, them being held accountable and being liable for how they treat reality stars. Because to be honest, I just saw a recent lawsuit where the two gentlemen from Love is Blind were saying how they were paid minimum wage. They weren't really told anything. They were kept in the dark, and they felt exploited, and they got attorneys as well. So I'm like, child, between the actor strike, the writer strike, now we have the reality stars on strike, and UPS is on strike, hotels are on strike. People are fed up. People are fed up with being mistreated, having their image and their labor being used and abused by these corporate executives who are paid millions off the back of their talent. At the very least, and I mean the bare minimum, right, is that they could, compensate their talent fairly and justly. A lot of actors have come out and said that they used to get residuals that would hold them over between gigs or, new shows, or that they would work on shows that I think it's after 3 seasons, you get a pay raise. But now I was reading about Disney Liv and Maddie, I think that was the name. He said that they would just slightly change the name after 3 seasons in order to not pay the actors fairly. I'm like, Disney, what in the in the child labor laws is going on? And that's another thing, that is in Bethenny's lawsuit, that they had minors who they were not compensating fairly. So, I mean, if anybody on my channel is thinking about going into reality TV, one, I would say, please do your research. Like, talk to, some other reality stars, or hear what they have to say. Read this letter that I'm about to put in the description box. But two, if you have a lawyer, friend, or you have somebody that that really likes the law, that can look over your contract. I've actually turned down contracts myself where in the past, it was one specifically, and I called it the Ursula clause, which, if you guys know from Ursula from The Little Mermaid, they wanted to use my voice, my likeness, and I was like, okay, first of all, I'm not about to sell my soul. My soul belongs to Jesus anyway, but you cannot use this was for a writing, this was a writing contract. Why do you need my likeness? Why do you need my voice? Why do you need all these things of my personhood when I'm only agreeing to give you what is written on paper I'm like, you are not Ursula, and this is not the Little Mermaid. So I made the lawyers redraft it several times until we could come to a mutual agreement. Because I was like, I'm not signing something that you can use my likeness, my face, my voice, my anything on my personhood in perpetuity, which means forever, ever. Okay. By the way, I don't know if they didn't think that they was going to sneak that past. You got to read these contracts. So if you get nothing else from this channel, and again, I'm not a lawyer. This is just my opinion and my own personal advice, fair use for entertainment purposes only. But in my previous experience as a writer, I did have an issue with a client who had some attorneys out of Beverly Hills. By the way, like, you would think Beverly Hills knew better. They tried it. But anyway, yeah, we went through like 3 redrafts of that contract before I signed it. So read your contracts, people. With that being said, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and I will talk with you later. Take care, aces. Bye.